in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 2, Elisha said to her, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? So he's like, what can I do for you? What do you have in your house? They're coming to take your kids. You have a debt that you can't pay. What do you have in your house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. And that is currency back then. So just one jar of oil. Then he said, go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors. Empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, and you shall shut the door behind you and your sons, and pour that jar of oil into all those vessels and set aside the full ones. So put yourself in her situation at this moment. A bald-headed prophet, rare. No, my bad. He didn't have a man bun. Like, he just wasn't assumed to be holy. A bald-headed prophet says, I want you to take the last bit of the little that you have left, and I want you to pour it out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go ask everyone around you, everywhere, all your neighbors, for all of their empty vessels. And then when you shut your door, then you can pour out what you have. That would be uncomfortable to hear. Because that lady could have checked out really easy and said, I'm going to allow my current circumstance to define what I believe God can do in my life. So she went from him, Elisha, and shut the door behind her and her sons who brought the vessels to her. And she poured it out. Everything she had financially, she poured it out. Now it came to pass when the vessels were full, and she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there is not another vessel. So the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, go, sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. Now let's analyze this a little bit. I am guessing, because this woman had faith and she acted on it, I am guessing there was a little bit of regret for not filling the entire house with vessels. Telling you in your life, I want you to go tell everyone. I want you to go out, and he's leading you to do something, and he says, man, I will show up. As many people as you tell about Jesus, I'll show up and meet them. And you tell 2 people. Maybe God's leading you to do something audacious, and I believe in this moment for everybody streaming live through prayer of what I've heard from the presence of the Lord praying for this. I believe there's people watching where God's leading you to do something that doesn't make sense. But we can't let what we're looking at in our current circumstance and what we have in our understanding of who God is define what our faith in God looks like. Because a lot of us have allowed our faith in God to depend on human ability. The report comes in and there's a sickness that will kill your loved one. And you shift to man's ability. And we see it. Our kids get sick in our house, and what do? Do we do what Jesus said in the Great Commission? Do we lay our hands on the sick and see them healed? A lot of us say no to that. Why? Because maybe you've done it before and you haven't seen the results. Well, let me encourage you. Just because you don't see the results doesn't mean that you have an excuse to quit. Our job is to obey. God's job is to bring the results. Because thank God, Garth Brooks wrote the song, thank God for unanswered prayers. Thank God he doesn't answer all of our prayers. But we have to pray aggressively and trust that he will answer the ones that he sees fit. And I believe he's waiting for the men all around the world to take a stand